What's up, everybody? It's your boy C has from Motivated Minds. Hey, so I've been sitting here, thinking about doing this for a while. If you subscribe to the Bible, I'm quite sure you've heard that scripture, Jeremiah 29:11. Y'all know that one, the one that a lot of preachers will go to, trying to give people hope. That one that says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And right about then, some of them hoo-ha preachers get the hooing and ha, hoo-ha, nah.
When God does for you what you couldn't do for yourself, when God gets you over on the other side, when God makes your enemies leave you alone. Have a song in my heart that the angel can't sing. Oh, I've been washed.
And then, everybody get caught up in the spirit, get shouting all that. But I was reading that one day, like I said, I got it above my bed, because I do read that. I wear it around my neck, on my dog tag that I have, just to remind me of why I'm actually there, because I do what I do because there was a plan. But that's another story. Um, but something told me one day, I was just sitting around, and something just said, you know what, go back and read that whole scripture in its entirety. So I backed up, starting to verse 1. And when I got to verse 5, I started reading on verse 6. It's just like this light bulb came on. So let me back up real quick. Because if y'all know anything about Jeremiah, Jeremiah was known as the weeping prophet. And he was prophesying during the time of the captivity, where the Hebrews were in captivity for Babylon for 70 years. So this is where Jeremiah 29:11, or Jeremiah chapter 29, kind of comes into play. And listen, man, I ain't trying to preach to nobody. I'm just saying, I just found it interesting. So basically, verse 5, God is basically telling them that, basically he says, listen, y'all gonna be here, and y'all gonna be here for 70 years. So if you start reading verse 5 is Jeremiah basically giving them his word that says, listen, y'all might as well go ahead on and, build houses and plant crops and take wives, getting into verse 6, take wives, and you might as well just make yourself comfortable, because y'all are going to be here for a minute. And he also says, seek peace and prosperity in the city, and basically just try to get along, because again, y'all ain't going nowhere. And then he also says, if you keep reading, he says, now listen, this is my word. And if anybody comes after me, telling you anything different, don't believe them, because it ain't from me. So he's just telling them, that don't let these other prophets among you and these diviners and all these people tell you anything other than y'all gonna be here. That, this captivity is not gonna last for 70 years, because it is. So I just sat and I just started thinking about that for a minute. And then it's just what I realized, that oftentimes, a lot of times people are looking for hope. And people are looking for, some type of feel good message, especially when we get into situations. But what I took from this whole thing was that there are just some situations that we just gonna have to go through. There's no easy way out, right? We just gonna have to weather the storm. And this is what he's saying right here in Jeremiah chapter 29, all the way through verse 11 and 12, right? That, y'all just gonna weather the storm, and you can pray all day long. You can hoop and you can holler and you can cry and you can wail. But there's some situations that we might as well get comfortable in and make the best of those situations, because we are just going to have to go through it. And then I read this quote that says that Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. That's what part of Jeremiah 29 is about, is that you going to go through this storm, but he's telling them to be comfortable in the storm. In other words, you going through it, but you just got to learn how to dance in the rain. But then he brings it home in verse 11, which most people like to preach from, where he says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So, yep, in the midst of the captivity that you're going through, you got to be comfortable, right? Is what he told him. So, in the midst of the storm or whatever you're going through in life, when it ain't nowhere around it, you got to be comfortable. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to know that hope is coming. So what I took a couple things from that, but another thing that I took from that is that, we always get the whole customary, everything is going to be all right. Well, sometimes it ain't going to be all right. Sometimes, right? But if you keep living and you keep going through it, it will be. Yeah, you might have some damage that you may go through or some things that you may suffer. But at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. You just got to make it through it. So I'm just saying, that's just something that, just crossed my mind. Because I know these days and times with the Rona, as I like to say it, with this whole COVID thing, some people are having some tough times, and some people are struggling. But, it's not really going to always be like this. Some people say that tough times don't last, but tough people do. I'm just telling you how to go through it. It's easy to give people hope and these feel good messages, but there's some things that we are just going to have to go through. And I just want y'all to remember this, that good things are coming down the road. Just don't stop walking. Hey, this your boy C has Motivated Minds. I just want y'all to think about it.